but he'd go down on me for hours.
You know, I can eat a peach for hours.
Hello friends and welcome back to ReddX, your source for the freshest daily Reddit content anywhere on the internet. Promise, swearsies, it's just a fact. And it's totally science. Go ahead and look it up. Today we're jumping into r/NeckbeardStories. Yes, indeed, we got a couple of Neckbeard dating fails. One of them is from NeckbeardStories, one's from r/ReddX Reads, but you know how I love these dating fail stories. And our first dating fail story actually features Second Life, which kind of reminds me that I'm supposed to get into IMVU and Second Life and like experience that cringe, but let's be honest, there's just so much cringe on the internet. I'm a little bit overwhelmed at the moment, but I will get to it eventually, do some homework. The homework that I've been doing most recently is about a fat MMA fighter on a Dr. Phil episode. So once that clears through copyright and all that stuff, we are going to see a glorious Neckbeard active, like on the internet right now, which is totally awesome. I checked kiwifarms.net. There's no thread for this guy yet, so I am super excited to get it all started up, and I guess we'll just have to see how that goes once I'm finished with it. For now, we got the dating fails, which is equally delicious in my opinion, but I've rambled far too much. Let's go ahead and jump into it. We'll get some plugs and disclaimers out of the way, and then we will get into some cringy Neckbeard dating fails. Creepy ass man Neckbeard I dated for 2 months. Ass man, one word. That's new. On mobile, this may be a little rambly. When I was around 19 or 20, I had joined a dating site. I met someone on there, let's call him D. He messaged me first asking about my interests, and we met up for coffee eventually. At first, he genuinely seemed like a down-to-earth, kinda geeky guy, and he seemed sweet. He did meet the physical criteria: thinning hair, patchy beard, complained about his weight even though he made no effort to change it, not into anime, but video games and tabletop RPGs. Yeah, anime leans more towards like weeaboo, doesn't it? He also played Second Life. Oh, not World of Warcraft, Second Life. It's a different kind of RPG, but probably cringier. And he always bragged about the girl that played with him on there.
I flirt with her all the time.
I will point out too that I was still in this naive age where I thought you were obligated to give a guy a chance just because he compliments you. I had also been single for quite a while, so as this thing progressed with D, he immediately referred to me as
his girlfriend.
I just took this as a sign that he was super into me, introduced me to his friends and his interests and hobbies right away. There was something very weird about his compliments though, which I've noticed with a lot of neckbeards. When I say weird, I mean like very obviously fetishized. I do look a little more quote-unquote alternative, as much as this term annoys me, but he would say things like,
"Oh yeah, you're my little freaky girl."
Oh god, that's good cringe. I feel like this made him assume that I was into a lot of freaky or kinky stuff, because after the first time we kissed, he immediately started asking me about all these sexual acts he wanted to try and if I did them. He flat out asked me, really giddily,
if I did anal.
This had to be on like our third date. Run! Turn in the other direction and run. Jesus. When it came down to getting intimate, he admitted that
he was a virgin.
God. It just gets better. I wasn't, but I thought to myself that maybe it could be fun because I could initiate some of the action. Oh boy, was I wrong. He would immediately complain about condoms, insisting that
he couldn't orgasm with one on.
Like, how the hell would you even know that? You've never had sex. You know this man's jerked off with a condom on, dude. Just to see how it feels. He made jokes all the time about
board has ruined me. My friends have totally turned me off from condoms.
Like, that just makes me feel terrific, bud. I'm the only thing in this world that doesn't turn him on. He was just the definition of someone whose entire view of women and sex came exclusively from pornography. I tried to be understanding and help him along the way, but I was obviously getting frustrated. He was so desensitized to actual sex, it just wasn't funny. Here are some other cringy things that he said/did. He had a very narrowed and weird obsession with asses. He always had to excitedly exclaim, "I love butts," if the subject ever came up. At this point, you basically got to tell him, like, hey, if you love butts so much, you could just be a gay guy. Nothing wrong with that. He never fucking let up about the anal thing, even though I said that I didn't want to do it. I'm not against the act by any means, it just wasn't my thing personally. Plus, I especially don't want to do it if I'm being pressured into it. Nice line drawn in the sand there, OP. I'm with ya. I am a visibly tattooed woman. One day he made this stupid joke about how,
my buddy shared this post that said, "Why do women not like anal but have tattoos and piercings?"
I don't see how that's related. Like, first of all, that's a stupid comparison, indeed. Second of all, yeah, that totally wasn't a jab at me because I have tattoos. Ugh, the look on my face must have said it all. Bro, don't leave it at a look. You should have eviscerated him at this point. Now, I'm a sex-positive person, so I mentioned something about porn one day. He saw this as an opportunity to show me some video about this woman that got picked up by a male actor that then forced her into a Nelson position to have anal sex with her. And this was after she screamed that she didn't want it. Like, wow. I know they're actors, but that's basically depicting violence. And he thought
it was funny.
Bro, that is such a huge red flag. China would be jealous of it, all right? Violence in a sexual act, it might be okay if it's consensual. But these actors, this production totally went out of its way to stage it as non-consensual. And this guy is watching this, like, not just watching it, but he wants to share it with the girl that he's dating. Like, oh, bro, wow. I'm so glad you got away from this dude because this is horrifying, honestly. My name's Chloe, and his nickname for me was
Chloe Butt.
Like, it's not even clever. Usually when you think of a nickname for someone, there's some sort of inside joke or pun that goes with it. That's just smashing two words together. It annoyed me so much, but he kept saying it. See what I mean about the unhealthy obsession with ass? I guess it's a better nickname than Skid Mark. That's what the kids in gym class called me. That's not true, maybe. The real kicker in all this, he is the one who dumped me. His reason was,
you spend way too much time with your family.
And this was posted a year ago. This was like the height of the COVID-19 madness. Well, at the time, I still lived at home, and I'm an only child. It just works that way, so sorry? Do not apologize for that, OP. This guy's off his rocker. I think he was just trying to get laid, honestly. We did have one very brief sexual encounter. He ended it shortly after. He got what he wanted, and you got free of a creepo. So, all's well that ends well, I suppose. That's the end of my long rant. Sorry about the length, but I hope you guys found it entertaining. Have a good day and stay safe. From a once young and stupid girl with a butt. That outro kills me, dude. Honestly, I have no idea how you lasted 2 months with this guy. I don't know how you would have lasted 2 days. He's just like a scuzzy douchebag. He's mostly taking advantage of like OP's lack of experience and low self-esteem. Hopefully she's older and wiser now. And hopefully this guy, I guess, got it figured out. Like, maybe he is a gay guy now, Maybe he got all the butts that he could ever want. I mean, admittedly, he does seem like just horribly immature overall, but immaturity is no excuse to be like such a massive douchebag. And the most worrying thing of all was definitely the porn that he showed her. Like, that makes me extremely concerned for who this guy went on to victimize in the future. And it basically is victimization, you know what I mean? OP was in the relationship voluntarily, but at what cost? At what cost? So 2 months is definitely more than just one creepy date. So I guess we're coming out of the gate with both barrels, and then we're going to wind it back just a little bit. We got one more cringy date to get through, and then I'm going to wrap this video up. Thank you guys for being here with me today. Have you subscribed yet? I hope that you will. Have you checked out my wife's channel, Mr. and Mrs. ReddX? Please do. And with that mid-roll plug out of the way, we'll jump into the next story. A terrible date story. Yes, my favorite kind of date. I don't think this qualifies as a beardy story, but it's cringy, and I know how beloved cringe is. Thank you to ReddX for the videos and making my workdays go faster. Hey, thank you for watching. This channel would be nothing without you guys. And that is totally science. That is just a fact. Church, as some might say 10 years ago. Anyways, this all happened in 2010. Hey, so church fits right in with the time. Cool. I feel awesome. I was 26 at the time. I wrote the below story afterwards. I did make a few updates to it recently. They're basically two characters, me and this dude. Tiny backstory is that I have a panic disorder. At the time, it was untreated, so I'm always very cautious about everything, ever. I also have primary hypertension. Staying calm and relaxed is the goal of my life because of these two things. Well, that sounds pretty rough, OP. Have you tried smoking trees? It's just a joke. Don't do that. I'm not a doctor, okay? Neckbeard scientist, okay? The worst date ever. Think of the worst date that you've ever been on. Were they late? Weird? Smelly? Maybe socially awkward? Did they say inappropriate things? Was there just no chemistry? All of those issues are small potatoes in comparison to my worst date ever. I have been and continue to be single. I'm okay with this situation, and I enjoy being alone, but sometimes I feel kind of bad about it. In one recent bout of feeling blah, I signed up for a free dating site. See, free dating site, that's the whole problem. All the creeps are on the free dating site. I'm not saying you're gonna find the love of your life if you pay for it, but a free site is a good way to pick up a weirdo or a catfish. Nothing much really came of it, and I wasn't really surprised. A month or so after my initial sign up, I got a message. The guy seemed normal and excited about our similarities. When I logged on to send a reply, he IM'd me. We talked about computers and other nerdy endeavors. It was all normal. No warning signs, no red flags, no foghorns of what the fuck. He requested my phone number and I gave it to him. The ensuing phone call probably should have been a big red blinking indicator of the strangeness to come. He spoke only about himself, and whenever I began to speak, he would cut me off. Ah boy. I chalked it up to nervousness, and I silently listened to a very bizarre story. After hearing about his father, who recently committed suicide, his most recent ex, at the time they were still living together, she broke up with him after her previous ex suddenly regained his memory. Regained his memory, bro. That's like something on Days of Our Lives, isn't it? Or is this like a figure of speech? And all his mental health issues. Everybody is a little weird, and I have lots of experience with mental illness, so I just kind of brushed it off. I could see that, I guess. You don't want to judge somebody after just one phone call, right? My family's like rife with the mental illness. No cancers and stuff like that, but addiction and mental illness everywhere. But I don't want to get into that. After such a harrowing life story, I didn't know what to expect next. Well, he began to ask extremely personal and private questions.
Do you do anal?
No, he didn't say that. I don't consider myself a prude, but discussing things like this to a stranger was awful. I got to hear about how
He wasn't the best at sex, but he'd go down on me for hours.
I could eat a peach for hours. That is the line that stuck out to me the most. And you're doing it wrong if you need hours. Damn, OP. Too real. I assume this was nervousness too. I ended the extremely one-sided conversation with an agreement that the next day we would have dinner together. Oh boy. I woke up the next morning to several text messages from the guy. They all came ridiculously late. He promised to call me before his appointment with his therapist. He did call, and he told me about how he was thinking about me while laying in bed naked with his dog. You're killing me, dude. What? Why's the dog involved? What's going on here? He said he would call again at 3:30. Well, 3:30 came and went with no call. At this point, I'm having panic attacks because I've realized just how unstable this guy actually is. I still went through with it. I arrived at the restaurant on time, but spent 20 minutes in the car practicing my deep breathing. Bro, I'm gonna need some deep breathing too. 20 minutes later, now 40 minutes past the time we had arranged to meet, I get a call from him saying that,
he overslept and he's running late.
You overslept for dinner, bro? Yeah, okay. He lives far from the restaurant and
He's on his way.
I didn't leave because it was my favorite restaurant. Oh, don't stain your favorite restaurant with memories of this creep. I have a nice job and I'm completely comfortable having a lovely dinner by myself. Nice. I do like that. I got seated and ordered my favorite dish. If he shows or not, I don't care. I'm having a good meal. I like your style, OP. That's down as hell. 1 hour later, now 2 hours late, he arrives with a red gift bag. The present is what makes this the worst date ever. It isn't the lateness. It isn't the weirdness. It wasn't even the inappropriate conversation. The terribleness of this date completely relies on the contents of this red gift bag. Inside the red gift bag were 19 pairs of underwear. Say it again to yourself. 19 pairs of underwear. Just 19 pairs of underwear in various styles and colors. The underwear itself was really nothing of note. Some of the 3 for $9 variety from Target. I don't know why it was 19. You were so close to 20. 19's not divisible by 3. Neither is 20. I have no idea what's going on here. He probably bought 18 underwears plus a special one. That's the theory that I'm going with. Although he could have bought the 21 underwear and then just kept a couple for himself. He took one from the bag, but then he forgot he took one from the bag, so he took another one, you know? But I'm not trying too hard to think about that. Occam's razor says he just added one. Well, I set this bag down in a chair at the table, and I wish that I could throw it into the sun. There was also a sparkly, romantic card. Ooh, stepping his game up. Do you think he was so late because he was busy buying underwear? He didn't oversleep. He's just out there buying underwear. It's so ridiculous. The only thing I remember about this card is that he crossed out love and wrote like. Oh, top tier cringe, dude. I threw the card away promptly when I got home. I remember when I mentioned the inappropriateness of the card to him, I got this response.
Notice that it didn't say that I love you because I don't.
Yeah, because that made it all better somehow. I'm dying, dude. And at this point, I'm having a massive panic attack. I can't process 19 pairs of underwear as a first date gift. My blood pressure is so high that I know I'm going to have a stroke or a heart attack or just explode. I told him that while his present is nice, it isn't really socially acceptable. 19 pairs of underwear. First date. He said,
Yeah, he regretted it.
I suggested like maybe some flowers or some candy or like any fucking thing else. I had a hard time paying attention to what he was saying after that. My dinner was left half eaten. I remember thinking to myself that I have to calm down because this guy was a former powerlifter and a lot larger than me. I had left my stun gun at home and I needed to keep it together long enough to make it out. Bro, I say this so often. It must be so hard to be a woman. This is like a completely different frame of reference for me. You know what I mean? I have a bad day, I walk out, I don't think twice about it. But yeah, what if this former powerlifter freaks out on her? Jesus. To make things even more uncomfortable, he pulled his chair right next to mine and leaned over frequently to touch my hands. I got to hear about
How I was cute, but not as much as his friend's girlfriend, who was pretty much a model.
Oh my god, dude. I can't anymore. He told me
Then he was frustrated because I wouldn't look him in the eyes.
I don't look most people in the eyes. Feel that too, OP. He also told me
About all the future plans he had for us.
Jesus. He also noted that I looked like I was about to burst into tears. Why don't you stop and step away if the woman looks like she's about to cry? You freak, you galoot. I was promised the cringe, and this story delivers in spades. I think the waiter noticed this too, because he began hovering. The dude ordered a margarita and a very big dinner, which only prolonged the awkwardness. Surprisingly, he did pay for dinner. I cut the date short. We had plans to go see a movie and get dessert, but I just couldn't do it. Even before he arrived, I knew I would not be able to do it. But after 19 pairs of underwear, I was beyond done. He didn't understand why I didn't want to go see a movie. Well, darkness and this guy? Yeah, no thanks. I finally got him to accept the fact that I was going home. There was pouting involved from him. Now imagine a giant powerlifter just pouting because he can't get the second half of his date. Beautiful. He demanded an awkward hug by my car. Ugh. I went home and I had his number blocked by my phone company. There was no way that I could handle another date like that, or even risk any form of contact. I was nervous for months about the fact that he saw my car and saw the license plate number. Hey, thanks, panic disorder. I mean, it might be a thing to be aware of if this guy is like super crazy, but thankfully, he let it drop. OP logged back onto that dating site to delete the account. Well, guess who IM'd me as soon as I logged on? I hesitated for a moment, and then I hit delete even harder. Hit delete with the white hot intensity of 1,000 suns. I wish I could delete this experience. The two questions I get asked most often about this date: was the underwear the correct size? Yes it was. That type of underwear that comes in small, medium, large, or XL, so he basically had a 50-50 chance of getting it right, large or XL, and with full body pictures on the dating site, it probably wasn't too difficult to figure out. Did you keep it, and why? I did keep it. I didn't want to make him more upset than I already had by freaking out about it. It basically became an act of self-preservation. I also didn't have to buy new underwear for over a year. I just hope you're able to separate the thought of him from those underwear. So back to now. Flash forward. Panic disorder and blood pressure are now under control, still single, and that underwear is long gone. I'd assume so after a decade. My friends love this story and reference it a lot. I got you something. Is it 19 pairs of underwear? One friend brought it up recently, which is why I thought it might make a good fit here. I've been on many other terrible dates. None of them are interesting enough to make it into a full story, but they'd make some interesting short blurbs. Bad date compilation? Maybe. Oh, give it to us, OP. Come on. I did recently start dating again, so I might have some more new worst dates quite soon. I don't wish that on anybody. But goddamn, this is a hell of a story. I liked it a lot. So I guess the question now becomes, would you have one awkward dinner if you got a year's worth of underwear? Personally, if I wasn't married, yeah, why not? Do you know how good it feels to like buy a fresh pack of socks and just have some nice clean socks whenever you need them, pull them out of the drawer? Well, it's that, but with underwear. And for one night of awkwardness, I could totally do it. I don't know if I could do it if it was like a muscle-bound lady that I was scared would crush my skull like a robin's egg if I didn't give her snoo-snoo. But I guess I just, do like OP, be as amicable as possible, and get the hell out of there as soon as I could. I'm trying to think back. I can't really recall like any super awful dates that I personally have had. When I first got to Japan, I went out on a date with like a Filipina who was there teaching English or something, but we connected pretty good over dinner. It was just after dinner when she asked me if I wanted to go back to her place, and I was like, no, I don't really do that on the first date, and she asked me if I was gay. That's about the point where I should have asked her if she was loose, but I had a couple drinks. My brain wasn't working that quick. I was just like, nope, see you later. She didn't get the second date. Obviously, I don't hate myself that much. But that's about the worst dating experience that I've had personally. I do have some horror stories of girls who have tried to get a date with me, but I'm sure I'll write those Legbeard stories up at some point in the future. And they are Legbeards from Run Fair. It's a wild ride, I'm gonna promise you that. But for this video, I think that's it, friends. I definitely appreciate these dating fails. I've got it in my notebook to look up things for Second Life and dating fails and some beard baiting in video games, and I got all kinds of ideas for the channel. Right now, my notebook is filled up with budgeting. Wifey and I are trying to get like a new house, so that'll be super cool. A house that we actually own, and you guys helped me do that with YouTube. Oh my God. Thank you so much. I would never have made it this far without you guys, and I'm so super grateful. Just watching is definitely enough, especially if you've watched this far. But if you'd like to help even further, I hope that you will like, comment, and or subscribe if you have not already. Maybe share the video around. This is some top quality cringe. If you know somebody that needs a laugh, send them this ReddX video. I also hope you check out the links in the description. We've got the Amazon affiliate link down there, Wifey's channel, Mr. and Mrs. ReddX, my personal subreddit, r/ReddXReads. We've also got the Teespring if you're trying to rock the merch. There's a bunch of social medias if you want to reach out to me there. Twitter, Facebook, Discord. I'm relatively active on all of it. Oh, and how could I almost forget about my gorgeous, wonderful, beautiful, generous patrons? You're seeing some names on the screen right now, and I would like to thank them all, but especially Zero MMX, Lady Nix, Robert Waits, Pope Squid, Rebecca H, Cider Drinker, Tato Fair, The Last Shinobi, Mark 211, Michael Undead, Aaron W, Mitch, John Hero, Candy Sora, DigiNZ, Fire Drake, Little Lone Wolf, Lone Island, Shara, Miss Monday, Silent Revolver, JM Coon, Leon Embers, TSM Kirby, Redwind, Synaptic Boomstick, Jerry, and Staples. Yeet! Definitely appreciate you guys supporting. Sometimes videos do get demonetized. It's extremely hard to know what the YouTube gods like or dislike. It seems just totally random. Like, I'll do a horrible video and it slips by, and then sometimes they'll peg me for just doing nice guys. Like, what the hell? But But I don't have to sweat it too hard because of my lovely patrons. We did have one video get demonetized so far this month. Hopefully there's not another one, but if it happens, it happens. I'm willing to make the sacrifice to bring you guys the cringe. Obviously, if anybody else can support, that is massively, massively appreciated. I thank you so much in advance. But if you can't right now, friends, don't sweat it too hard. I just appreciate you coming on through, hanging out with me, and I hope that you come on back and hang out with me again tomorrow. Because really, the views is how my beard stays so buttery. In order to do so, you'll need to keep yourself safe out there. Wash your hands, super important. But also, take some time out. Do something that you personally enjoy today. Because you are loved, you are worthy, and you definitely, definitely deserve it. I'll see you in the next one, friends. And until then, bye-bye.